everyone, and welcome back to another screencast on Ratio today. It's simplifying, and it's in the form of 1 to n. Now, do not be put off by this. It is really, really simple. It's going to take a matter of seconds or minutes for you to fully work this out. But it's one of those typical examples of maths where if you don't know it, you can't do it. But sometimes to know it takes such a small amount of time. So let's go through with it now. Why do we want to simplify a ratio? So make sure you've watched the previous screencast on simplifying ratios before you do this one, because if you've done that, it'll really help. If you haven't done that, it won't necessarily hold you back, but it will make a lot more sense if you've done that. The reason why is because when we're working with big things in general, and especially when it comes to numbers, they can often be quite scary and hard to deal with. And if we make them as small as possible, then all of a sudden it becomes very, very accessible and very, very easy to use. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to simplify ratios. It's all about sharing, remember. It's all about sharing food. It's all about sharing money. And sometimes that's fair because if we give examples of that, someone may invest in a business. They may invest a lot of money. Another person may invest a small amount of money. So the person that's invested a lot of money deserves a lot of more money back when they make money, if that makes any sense. That's why with ratios, it's really important that we understand it's sharing. The last thing is, it is a calculator alert today. We need to make sure we go and grab our calculators because it's going to make it so much easier for us. You can do this without a calculator, but it becomes quite tricky in some of the questions when we go into decimals. So make sure you go and grab your calculator. So pause the video now, go grab your calculator and come back when you've done that. But if you've got it ready, we're going to make a start. The first example is we've got a ratio of for every 2 someone has, then the other person gets 7. So for every 2 donuts, let's say my son gets, my daughter gets 7, or I get 7. It's probably more accurate to think that I get 7. And what we're looking at today is we're looking at we want to find the value of n. And what we're trying to say is, okay, we're going to simplify this ratio so that this number here becomes 1. What will this number here become? Yeah, because we don't know it at the moment. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's really, really easy. And you're going to find within probably 5 or 10 seconds, half years are going to know what you're doing. And then maybe a slide or 2 later, the rest of years will, the dots will connect and you'll be absolutely fine and away with it. Some of you right now might already have worked it out, but we'll have a little go. So express the following ratios in the form of 1 to n. So all we're going to do is we're going to make 5, 1. That's our starting point. We want to make 5, 1. How do we do that? How do we make 5, 1? It's just like when we're working with fractions. Whatever we do to 1 up to the top part of the fraction, we've got to do the bottom part of the fraction. Whatever we do to this side of the ratio, we need to do to this side of the ratio. So how do we get from 5 to 1? Now, if you're telling me that you subtract 4 away, this is not what we want. We want timesing or dividing. Okay, so how do we get from 5 to 1? We divide it by 5. We divide 5 by 5, we get 1. If you need to get your calculator out and do that, then do that. But I promise you, 5 divided by 5 gives us 1. So whatever we do to that side, we need to do to the other side. So 12 divided by 5, and if you put that into your calculator and work that through, it gives you 2.4. So basically, we've worked this out. Yeah? We've written this ratio in the form of 1 to n. 1 here, 5 being 1, and 12 being 2.4. And that is our answer. Let's give another one a go, and then I'm sure the rest of yours will be away. I want to get 4 to 1, so therefore I'm going to divide it by 4. I do the same to the other side, so 15 divided by 4 will give us 3.75. So the answer is 1, 2, 3.75. And that really is how easy it is. Now, one thing to watch for. The key is look at the position of n, because sometimes n is first and 1 is second, but please make sure that you look for that. Let's get you to give this next slide a go. So you're going to do this first question for me. I want you to work that through. So you need to pause the video now, work it out, then come back and see if you've got it correct. Okay, so we're looking to make 10 into 1. What do we do to 10 to make it 1? We are going to divide it by 10. So if we divide this side by 10, then we need to divide this side by 10. And we're going to end up with 7 divided by 10. And that's going to give us, hopefully you know, 0.7. So 1 to 0.7. Next one, give this a go. Come back and see if you've got it right. Okie dokie everyone, let's go. We're going to want to make this 2 into 1. So what are we going to do? We're going to divide it by 2. Whatever we do to that side, we're going to do to the other side. We're going to divide 5 by 2, and that's going to give us 2.5. So it's 1 to 2.5. Okay, so as I said before, this time we're going to make the back number into 1. Whatever you do one side, do to the other. So give these a go now. Let's come back and see if you've got them right. So remember, we're making this number into 1. So what do we do to this side? We're going to divide it by 2. Whatever we do to that side, we need to do to the other side. So we're going to divide 5 by 2, and it's going to give us 2.5 to 1. Now, I think this is the last question before we move into the quiz. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. Give this bad boy a go. Come back and see if you've got it right. So we're making this back number here into 1. So let's do that now. We're going to divide it by 3. 3 divided by 3 gives us 1. And whatever we do to that side, we have to do to the other side. So 14 divided by 3, we're going to end up with getting 4.6 recurring. So just remember that recurring means it's 4.66666666. So therefore we put 4.6 recurring. We do have one more slide. I was wrong. So very quickly go and do these ones, then come back and see if you've got them correct. Okay, so we're making that back number into 1 again. So we're going to divide it by 7. And whatever we do to that side, we do to the other side. And we're going to end up with 1.4 recurring to 1. And I really hope the last question before we move into the quiz, there we go. Give that one a go and come back and see if you've got it bang on. Okay, everyone, we're going to divide this side here by 5 to give us to 1. We're going to divide the other side by 5 to get us to 2.4 to 1. And now we are moving into the quiz. There's lots of questions there. Look for where the N is. Look for where the 1 is. Work them all through. I know you're going to do incredibly well. It goes without saying. So make sure you're only doing this quiz if you feel really confident. If you get most of them correct, then you know you've got what it takes to do well on this topic. Pause the video, give it a go, and then come back and see if you've got it right. So it's time for the answers now, everyone. Remember, on this one, we were making this front number 1, so we're going to divide it by 2, divide it by 4, divide it by 10. But on the second one, we're making the back number into 1, so we're going to divide it by 2, divide it by 20, divide it by 3, and here is our answers. Hopefully, you've got the same answers as me. I'm sure you have. I'm not always, I can make mistakes also. So if I do make a mistake on any of these, then please make sure you leave a comment below. As always, make sure that you write a great revision card on this topic. And remember, if you are lazy or you can't be bothered or you just want some fantastic revision cards, then please leave a comment below asking me to send you the electronic versions of all these. I'm happy to do so. But until next time, hopefully you've enjoyed yourself. Hopefully you feel you've got a little bit better at maths today. And it's always a pleasure helping you with your maths.